fully sure. If I am, hello. Hopefully this, hopefully this doesn't lag too much. I am attempting to stream once a week. Probable goal is to about this time. I have a kind of a not a great computer. Like it was my dad's old computer, which it has Windows 10, but uh it's it's still it's iffy on what it can play. Like it can't play anything high end, and I'm kind of still testing things out. So I'm gonna be playing My Name Is You. I tried to play this last time, and I very much enjoyed it, actually. The only problem I basically had was didn't like change my resolution on how I displayed the video, so for the most part, it kind of got cropped off of what I was doing. But hopefully, and I mean this, hopefully, I have it fixed. I don't know if I can have like I only have one monitor too, so I don't know if I can have like a way to check Steam or anything, or stream Twitch. What are those new words? Check Twitch to see if it is display correctly. I'll have to do that like after I'm done recording. So either I'm making a fool of myself on live, and or no one's watching this. So we'll see. Last time how do I put this? I like this is basically a visual novel, choose your story kind of game. It's not like high action, not high puzzle solving. I wouldn't mind trying to play something like that, but and I'm just trying something simple for now, just starting out. Last time, the choices I made ended up him being a nice guy, but there was a couple options I didn't pick, like, or I'm wondering, like, if I didn't pick it, something different will happen, because, like, there was a part with the telephone where the telephone basically kept ringing over and over, and it wasn't until I didn't pick up the phone that it actually progressed the story. But it's one of those, if I didn't pick that in the first place. So, I'm going to be playing a new game, just starting over. This time around, I think I'm going to go with the jerk approach. Like, I'm going to...
I suppose I will start at the very beginning.
As usual. Let's see.
Chapter 1. Once upon a time, there lived you.
Right. The main character's name is you. Not...
Despite his unusual name, his life was hardly any different from others.
I wouldn't exactly say that,
It
but...
was an unusually usual day when he was getting ready to go to work.
Okay.
2 hours of sleep. What a formality, he said to himself, glancing at his watch. He was used to working at night, just as he was used to never having days off.
We also got to learn a bit about him last time, so...
That morning, the buttons on his shirt were fastened faster than usual. This was not by chance. The tear-off calendar boldly declared Friday, April 3rd.
Right.
It reminded him that there were only 3 workdays before his holiday, and there was no room for mistakes. His room in a communal apartment was not very big, so it did not take him long to pack.
So, I know of one other person in his apartment from the previous previous playthrough, but I wonder if there actually is other people.
Having got dressed, he quietly walked past the neighbors' rooms into the hallway.
It says there's neighbors, but there's only like one person you can interact with.
Somebody was snoring loudly in the furthest room, which caused you to smile for some reason.
I actually think I know who that is. That's awesome.
He walked up to the front door and accidentally stepped on a pile of letters. Picking up the envelopes, he saw his name on one of them.
Okay.
You automatically put it in his pocket and walked out.
Now, once again, like, if you just have a letter that says you on it, like, technically that can be addressed to anyone, but ignoring that.
The thought that next Sunday, a huge stone would be removed from the entrance to the crypt of his existence by the power of labor legislation kept you going.
Huh. Doesn't Doesn't he... Doesn't he not like days off, though? So, I'm planning to be a jerk this time around. Like, last time I hurried to work, and I know what the letter says, but I'm still gonna hurry to work. Just, I'm gonna be indifferent
The
about
trip
things.
to work took him by several blocks.
Alright.
He considered early morning to be an extremely pleasant time of day. Universal euphoria. Although euphoria usually precedes inevitable death. As soon as he went into the park, he saw a kid in ragged clothes running away from a pack of stray dogs. His eyes caught a swiftly ticking clock hand.
So, this was also a decision... So last time I decided to help the boy, be a quote-unquote decent human being. But, as it turned out, apparently the dogs didn't... They weren't going to harm the boy whatsoever. And also, apparently the main character is afraid of dogs. Like, oddly enough. So, I'm curious, what happens if I decide to step back?
It was unclear what had made you so anxious.
Oh.
Fear of dogs?
Yeah.
Or of being late to work? He distanced himself from reality, refused to play any role except that of an outside observer. However, he had no chance to interfere. The picture of the kid falling down on the ground, breaking skin on his knees, flashed before his eyes. Then of the dogs, losing all interest in him after that.
Right, okay.
You immediately felt nauseous. Everything went dark, and it seemed to him that he was looking at himself through the eyes of the kid.
Oh, okay.
Just like when he was a child. Deja vu!
Really? A single page? Okay. I should probably mention I'm a very simple-minded person. Very simple things I enjoy.
In order to justify his actions to himself, he took the handkerchief with his initials and handed it to the kid.
Oh.
Before the latter could say anything, you ran away to avoid further conversation.
Oh, okay.
In a hurry, he went in the wrong direction, unaware of it until he ran into a locked gate on his way.
So, in this variation, he's more of an introvert, in other words. Or not. Doesn't know how to deal with people, in other words. Huh. Because, I mean, last time the boy didn't.
He casually turned around and went to work.
Oh, okay.
He was almost there when he saw his boss enter the office building.
Right.
He took it as his personal failure, although his watch showed that he still had several minutes. You barely got into the office when he noticed two male silhouettes behind him. He turned around to see his boss and a man he had never seen before, a little further away.
Right.
Figuring that they would have to be introduced to each other, he turned to the stranger first.
Okay, never mind. No introvert.
Let me introduce myself. You.
Okay, no, not introvert then.
My name is Frank. And you? To avoid unnecessary explanations, you took a name tag from his table and pointed to it. Yes, despite the fact that there was no live communication with clients, the work charter required name tags, probably to remember his name.
I mean, I guess that wouldn't be too difficult, but sure.
Wow, that's a very unusual name. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
It is the only unusual detail of my life.
Huh. This kind of feels like what would be a normal initial playthrough. Like, usually there's a canonical story in most of these kind of choose your own story kind of things where certain events do play out and that's how you're supposed to perceive it. but then there are branch archways where you can go down and explore different possibilities. But I mean, this is literally the title of the game. So I wonder if, like, yes, you're meant to do those first two things. Skip the read the letter later, and then don't help the boy right away. Huh.
An awkward pause hung in the air. The boss, standing behind Frank, frowned and cast a reproachful glance at you. Frank is our security guard starting today.
There's a different introduction from last time. Like, last time Frank was already there, though. But now he's behind? Even though... okay.
Oh, we have nothing to. A security guard. Some of my important documents are missing.
Oh?
There are only two of us. What kind of documents?
So that's a different explanation. Like, the explanation from last time was... It was for an internship. This time's a different scenario. That's weird.
That I cannot tell you.
Hmm.
You mean you suspect me?
So...
No, I do not.
So is this a Franklin lie, or was the, Or was the... Gosh.
Eliminating any opportunity to continue this conversation, the boss turned around and went into his office. The room plunged into silence. You got down to some clerical work. You found a moment and took the morning letter out of his pocket. Glancing at the address line, a chill went through Yu's body for a split second. From Dorina. Yu was confused by the seal on the envelope, indicating the place of departure. No leave grad. Is she really coming back to Kenot? He said out loud. Suddenly, there was a curious voice saying, "Who is coming?" Yu did not answer and continued reading. Dear Yu, my doctor's suspicions are confirmed. I have the same disease that struck you. I thought it over and decided that we need to break up. It may seem that something like this should bring people closer, but it would be unfair to myself. We can have our last date on the morning of April 3rd in the Seafront Cafe, and then I will leave Kenot and go abroad.
So... Okay, so the letter still says the same thing, and I still think it's kind of
He felt dizzy.
silly that she would send a letter about this, but... I guess at the time I played... Yeah. I don't know when exactly this game's quote-unquote taking place, like whether it's like in the 1900s or if it's in where exactly, but so last time I stayed at work and I am attempting to be indifferent this time around, so why not this time I still stay at work? Let's still be indifferent about things.
Another working day turned into night. The newly appointed watchman dozed off at his improvised post, an ordinary chair at the entrance to the office. Yu was sitting at his sturdy desk, imagining again and again how the shelves, stocked with books on jurisprudence, would break loose due to their own weight from friable concrete and break his head. Allowing himself a little break, Yu took his diary from his table drawer and made a note. I never took a plate of soup at school lunches, even when I really wanted to. I was afraid to spill it in front of everyone, but I could put it on the table, which seems to be my life's pattern.
I never took a plate of soup at school, lunches, even when I really wanted to. I was afraid to spill it in front of everyone before I could put it on the table. Which seemed to be my life pattern. So... Yeah, okay, so... It's more... afraid to take chances, in other words, or always choosing the
Feeling
safer
some
option?
satisfaction from writing that,
Hmm.
he resumed work.
So yeah, this does seem like the definitive pathway to the game.
There was a rustle of the janitor's broom and the trill of birds outside the window. More accurate than the clock, you thought. Chapter 2.
Alrighty.
On the second day of work, every sip of coffee came out of his nose as blood.
Hmm.
Covering his nose with his hand, Yu went to the restroom.
Yes, coughing.
Excuse me. I wish I could narrate a little faster and keep you from getting bored, but it is difficult in my condition.
No. Again, you're fine, bro.
Let's continue.
Please.
Returning to his workplace, Yu saw Frank sitting at his table and leafing through his personal diary. Such violation of personal boundaries, it seemed, was about to put Yu out of temper.
So last time I was passive and asked him. This time I just want to snatch it back.
Yu gripped his diary and unexpectedly for himself pushed Frank to the
Whoa.
wall, knocking a chair out from under him. The shelves above Yu's desk shook and fell on Frank, lying in a fetal position, covering his head with his hands.
Oh my.
Yu did not hear the sound of the shelves falling. There was nothing but inner noise in his head.
Okay, wow.
Engulfed with righteous anger, Yu stood over the defeated guard.
Wait, what?
The holes from the missing parquet boards under his head were slowly filled with crimson stream.
Oh gosh, what? Okay. That, I guess, was not a path to take. um. Okay, so apparently that was a lot faster. So let's not do that then.
Chapter 2.
Right.
On the
So I've already got through this one.
Let's continue.
So
Return.
knocking Frank into the bookshelf causes a game over. Okay. Ask him to give it back.
Give it to me. Here, take it. I was curious.
Right.
In a moment, Yu hid his diary in the drawer of his desk. I am sorry if I offended you. The incident seemed to be over, but Frank's intrusive nature got the better of him. Can I ask you a question?
Oh gosh.
Why does everyone in your notes die?
Let's actually keep sound on this one. Like I remember him answering before, but
Frowning, you ignore the question of the self-styled guard.
so I'm actually now taking down a path I haven't done before. Huh.
The office phone rang.
So this again happened in the previous variation. Like I kept trying to answer the call, but it kept ringing over, kept stopping and then ringing, and it kept stopping, and then kept ringing, and kept stopping, kept ringing. So this time I just want to straight ignore the call.
The ringing bored into his skull.
Yeah.
Yu was buzzing together with the receiver. Yu involuntarily took off, but his head started spinning, and he was seeing dark spots.
Oh gosh.
Holding onto the railing, Yu slid down the stairs and jumped out onto the street. ran into his boss at the door, who stood there smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Go to bed now. You can give me the rest of the papers tomorrow. He did not have any strength left to work anyway.
Right.
Although he left some things in the office, Yu was not in a hurry to go back. He sat down on the doorstep to rest. His vision was not particularly keen on the second day, so it took him a while to recognize a familiar face. Yu livened a little. A welcoming grin appeared on his face. Hi, Max. Why are you not at work?
Ah, Max.
I dismissed my students a little early. How are you feeling? As usual, another night shift. If I was your father, I would have fired you long ago. What will be left for me then?
Oh gosh. So, is he in a rut? Is he just going with the motions? Is he not like... Oh gosh.
Max answered with a question. Do you want me to take your shift?
So, I know from my first run that by saying no thank you, we learn that Max is actually sick, which is why he let his students out early. I wonder if it is the appropriate thing to say no thank you, but in this variation, but again, I decided to be a jerk, so let's just say yes.
They let me go, but there is still a lot of work to do. Okay, I will talk to your father. Don't you dare.
Ooh.
Max had a fit of grunting coughing, to Yu's surprise. Max tried to hide it very hard, but Yu noticed blood on his palms, which he quickly hid in his pocket. Yu decided to play along with his old friend, pretending that the latter had not given his secret away.
Aww.
Max tried to quietly wipe the traces of blood with a handkerchief, the corner of which was still visible from the pocket of his coat. The handkerchief was way too familiar. It was Darina's handkerchief.
Oh. What? Oh. Okay, this is a new choice selection for me. So, what do I go with here? Do not show your mind, or what was that? Let's get angry with the old friend, because why not?
What was that? What do you mean? I have a cold. There have been droughts in my classroom for 3 days. Yu looked at his own hands, counting his fingers. Boring, but quite expected. They were all there.
Okay.
He was clearly weaker than his friend was, but, having lost control of himself, he grabbed Max by the front of his shirt, which led to a clumsy brawl.
Okay.
Max pushed Yu against his shoulder in an attempt to break away. Because of an insult or uneven stones on the pavement, Yu lost his balance and fell down, hitting the curb with the back of his head.
So this was a bad end.
As if examining a painting, Yu fixed his dying look on his fingers and counted them.
Oh.
He counted them again and again.
Okay, this is a different song. Hey. let me go do something really quickly. I'll be right back. But, geez. Okay. And I'm back. Okay. So I just got two endings I didn't expect. Okay, so if Mac acts out, I can get bad endings. So does that mean if I go meet Dorina, uh, that might not end well? Huh. What is this song, by the way? It's a very nice calming song. Definitely have to look it up later. So let's do that again. Oh gosh.
Chapter.
Let's skip through this. He starts coughing. He goes in the bathroom. He comes back.
Such.
Frank is ruffling to himself. This leads to a bad end.
Give it.
Huh.
Here.
I
In a moment.
wonder if.
I am so. Can I ask you a question? Why does
everyone knows to die? So, from what I can tell, answering this question doesn't branch off in either direction. It's just you sort of get a perspective of use mind if you answer, but if you don't answer, the phone still goes to ringing. Huh. I'm gonna go with keep silent for now, just to.
Frowning, you ignore the question. The office.
Once again, this doesn't really matter. We get blind spots.
You.
We go down the stairs. The boss is smoking at the doorway. The boss tells him to go home. Max is sitting on the doorstep. His friend Mac comes up. He greets him. Let's see. Max offers to work a shift. We go with the yes option, but
they let me go.
I guess you don't exactly say yes. Max kind of implies
Don't you
it.
dare.
But Max says
Max
to
had a
talk to his father.
Max tried. You decide. Max. It was Dorina's handkerchief.
Okay, so this is actually what I'm curious about. Like we know from the letter from earlier that Dorina was going to leave him. Right. So is she actually going to leave him, or was she cheating on him? That's what I'm curious about. Like, so this leads to a bad end. Anytime you gets angry, it goes to a bad end. I wonder if it's if the story changes all that much from the letter in chapter 1. I'm curious, but let's not for now. You do not show your mind.
You said goodbye, refusing a favor, and went away.
Okay.
Coming home, you could barely stand on his feet. Notwithstanding his lack of sleep and fatigue, he could not fall asleep. The day flashed in his head on repeat. As for the breakup, he did not see himself as the victim.
So yeah, like, she was going to break up with him, but did she, like, immediately hook up with Max? Like, what?
On the contrary, the entire time during his relationship with Dorina, you wondered,
oh,
why did she love him? Drained of all strength and weak in spirit from birth. He did not anymore. Dizziness and pain subsided. At some point, he even thought about calling a doctor, just to make sure that he was still alive.
Oh, come on, you.
But sleep took its toll. Chapter 3.
Okay. Sheesh. Um,
The alarm went off.
yeah, sure. Keep going.
You faced a new day with weakness in his legs and a throbbing headache.
Right.
All night long, he had been haunted by a painfully familiar nightmare.
Hmm.
However, when he woke up, all tangible images dissolved, leaving only a nasty precipitate.
So I actually really know that feeling. Like, I really can't remember what I dream about sometimes.
His body led him to the kitchen in search of caffeine. Despite the early hours, he found his boss there.
That's a fun way to
How
word
are
that.
you feeling? You heard the question, but ignored it because of his sleepy state. How difficult is it to answer? You was pleased to hear the words of concern, even coming that way.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, Father.
Right.
A cup in Yu's hand inevitably filled with bloody coffee.
Hmm. So, is that just a word variation, or is that just... Like, I believe this original game is in Russian, so I wonder what bloody coffee is supposed to imply here. Like, is it like very runny? Is it like?
You look like shit. I feel like it. I do not want to lose my last son, even someone like you.
Again, does that imply that you has brothers, or?
His father had his old wool suit on and was about to leave for work.
Hmm.
You do not have to go to the office today. Get some rest.
So last time I went to work, I didn't rest, and I found out that you hates resting. So, this time around, let's still go to work, but there's another choice or two down the line that I can change.
You did not tell anyone about this,
Right.
but I am going to tell you confidentially. He believed that the disease manifested itself most fiercely when he went to bed. That was why you did not like sleep. His night fantasies became crazier with time. Every dream seemed to him a step closer to insanity. In order to control himself, he regularly looked at his hands and at the clock hands.
Okay, so that goes back to what during the when he got angry at Max, he just counted his fingers. So, huh? I wonder what exactly he's sick with. To be honest, like I don't think they mentioned that in the first runabout. But is it like a type of dementia, or is it like, huh? Like I actually really am curious. Hmm.
He walked out of the door and noticed a stranger near the opposite house.
Hmm.
That
Right.
stranger was an identical copy of you, as if his long lost twin. You froze and watched him. The door was half open, and he saw a pretty girl and a little boy, probably the same age as the kid, behind it.
So once again, the boy early in the story was meant to give him sort of a reflection of him when he was little, and now he's
The newly appeared copy of you smiled, said goodbye to his family, and disappeared.
guy doesn't actually look like you. It's more of him envisioning a better life for himself. Hmm. So again, I'm playing the not care route. So normally this would probably be like, what could my life have been? So this is a regret. This is... Hmm. Screw it, let's spy on the double.
You decided to follow the imposter. He was filled with excitement and almost childish curiosity. Yu's assiduous attempts not to give himself away were unwarranted.
Hmm.
His double had no intention of turning around. The pavement, the slums, the sound of the heartbeat of a whale.
That's
A
random.
straight path led them to the railway station. Suddenly, the second you turned back in the direction of the original, but the latter went unnoticed. The station was unusually empty.
Hmm.
The double went to the counter and bought a ticket. You, without much hesitation, waited for a convenient moment and went up to the same window. I would like the same ticket, the same time. A heavy, apathetic cashier automatically held out the requested ticket without batting an eye. The ticket said 8 o'clock. The train was about to arrive. The double sat on a bench near the right track. You stayed at a distance, keeping an eye on him. He was so excited that the illness fell into the background.
Oh, so okay. So to get an accurate version of the story, I don't want to go down this specific route, but okay, this is...
The train rattled in the distance. The double got up and walked to the edge of the platform.
I'm... Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm a little bit worried here.
You came close to him, forgetting about precautions. Yes, he had decided to start a conversation. He was going
Okay.
to do it in the car, so that the double could not escape. Before you realized what was happening, the double threw himself under the moving train.
Right, okay. Okay, so... The twisted mind that I have kind of knew that was going to happen. But...
You choked from horror. His feet seemed glued to the platform. Everything around him froze.
Gosh.
In a moment, hysterical screams of eyewitnesses pierced the frozen air. How come he had not noticed them before?
Somebody was killed. He pushed him.
Alright.
Get him!
Different words. Different words.
Train rattle squeezed out the last drops of sanity. Blurred silhouettes, impregnated with human justice, surrounded you.
Oh, so...
Is this the end?
Is it?
The alarm went off. You faced a new day with weakness in his legs and a throbbing headache.
Oh god, wait, no, really.
All night long, he had been haunted by a painfully familiar nightmare.
Oh god.
However, when he woke up, all tangible images dissolved, leaving only a nasty precipitate.
Oh wait, it's gonna restart.
His body let him, despite. How are you feeling?
Okay.
You heard the question. How difficult is it? You was pleased to hear the words of concern.
So,
I'm sorry,
I
Father.
guess the suicide didn't put together the blame part, but didn't expect the time loop. So,
A cup in Yu's hand inevitably filled with bloody coffee.
So I think there was
You
a
look like shit.
choice when we followed the double,
I feel.
right?
I do not.
So why don't I back
You
back
didn't.
up to that again?
You didn't. He, but that was his
Hmm.
in order. You like to alter his route to work every now and then. He would walk through the park,
Oh,
or
shoot.
the patio, or the arch, by which he used to run so often. All that in order to somehow distinguish
Oh,
between days. Otherwise, everything merged into one endless stream.
shoot. Okay, so it wasn't a loop. It was one of those you could do that, but then it would take you back around. Okay.
He remembered that it was the last working day before the
Okay,
holiday
I
when
apologize.
he came up to the office door. Entering the office, you noticed that Frank was not there. He grinned at that maliciously for some reason. He found a new batch of documents on his table. Pinning his name tag on his jacket, you got to work.
Hmm.
The work did not take as much time on the last working day. He easily sorted out insurance files and, like a clerical deity, decided the client's fate, deciding who was to
Oh.
receive payments and who had mutilated himself with the purpose of deception.
Wait a minute.
Having gone through most of the papers, he came across an extremely familiar storyline. Insurance form, life insurance, Form 42, fractures, serious illness, and death. Insurance does not cover self-inflicted injuries, self-inflicted infection, or suicide. Date of insurance, March 29th. Date of death, April 5th.
So, by the game's logic, that is today.
Insurance sum, 203,500 coins. Salary, 15,000 coins.
Oh, so basic working man.
The client was an insurance agent. He bought a train ticket, later to be found under its wheels. Witness testimonies varied. According to some testimonies, he was pushed down onto the track. According to the other, he stumbled. Since the gap between the date of insurance and the date of death was so small, there was a note in the file indicating a suspected suicide. All risks were borne by the office that makes the final decision.
So, the appropriate thing to do is to accept it, but actually let's decline.
You refused the insurance payout, figuring he had guessed the man's motives correctly.
Hmm.
What guided him when making such a decision? Did he evoke his sense of justice, arrogance, selfishness, or maybe envy?
So, he's projecting here, in other words. He's projecting his life onto this man. What if he had done what the man did? Hmm.
His desktop got empty. He completed his work earlier than planned.
So it didn't actually do anything, it's just more of self-monologuing here.
Yet, he was dissatisfied.
Hmm.
He felt that he had missed something. Not knowing what to do with himself, he went to his boss's office.
Hmm.
He politely knocked a couple times on the door and appeared before his father.
Hmm. So, last time I went with is there anything else to do? That's the appropriate response, but should I go with can I go? Hmm. I don't remember if there's actually another option after is there anything else to do, or this is basically the end of the route. But let's just do it for now, and then I can double back if I need to.
Is there anything else to do? If you have processed the final papers, Then you need to fill out the statements. Yes, I have. Wait, has your holiday just started? Look at the time. It is the end of the workday. You can go. I would like to help some more. Look at you. You could use some help yourself.
Maybe this will help.
Huh?
He mumbled to himself, picking up a folder with the statements and walking out.
So that was definitely a different variation of the ending. So, from the way I played last time, he was more. What's the word to use? Like he was more self. Not more looking inward from last. I can't find the exact word I want to use to describe it, but this time around, like that was same option, same. Huh. I wonder if that changed because I went with suicide instead. Huh. Okay, that was one complete run. Wow, I think I've almost been streaming for almost an hour. I think. Let's see, Alt Tab. I think it's been an hour, yeah. So the question is, do I want to go back around and so, what to do? I think the only thing I have left to do in chapter 1 is the arena stuff. And in chapter 2, I think I did most of chapter 2 just now, so I actually let me go through chapter 1 again. But instead
Chapter 1.
But what I want to do basically is
It was.
I want to go to the office and then read.
He
Wait,
was.
no, that's in chapter 2, isn't it? No, that's chapter 1. That's at the end of chapter 1. I want to see what happens if you just bust out of the office. Ooh, but wait, does that change depending if I help the boy or not? Ooh. Try to work. Let's go with not helping the boy this time. And maybe do...
As his.
I'm not sure. Like, that's something I just want to check. Step back, be a coward. Not a coward.
It was just like.
So I really do like this game, actually. I like... Well, visual novel... Same genre of game, I guess, but... But I'm curious. I just am. Let's see. My name's Frank. Skipping through text boxes.
Frank,
You know, I wouldn't actually mind,
a security.
like a skip button. People who played the game the first
That
time around. Like, I know I'm just smashing spacebar here, but
No.
not really the point.
You.
So, like I said, so the main differences between the two variations is if you help the boy and you come to work on time, the boss mentions that, Frank is there on an internship. Which, don't know if that's truth or lies, but in the variations where you don't help the boy, he says papers have been stolen. Which, since there's just the two of them, so what's true and what's fiction? Like, I remember in the original storyline, he made a comment about the not impeachment, what's the word, internship, yes. The internship seemed kind of fishy, but, and like I said, I do want to, like, bust out and go to the cafe, because I think everything after this point I'm done. Like, the letter, everything else I'm done. So let's bust out and go to the cafe.
You hurried to the is uncertain whether he actually wanted to find her there or hoped for the opposite.
I hope she wasn't there.
One way or another, when he was in the appointed place, Dorina was not there.
Aw.
However, he saw a familiar kid on the porch of the cafe's veranda.
Oh, okay, so that will change the variation of what to do.
His injured knee was bandaged with a similar handkerchief with Yu's initials on it. Yu's mind was clouded. The kid handed Yu his own handkerchief.
What for? Keep it. Your nose is bleeding.
Oh.
The kid occupied himself with a scab on his knee.
Oh. So, Yu's illness took effect here. Huh. But, that said, like, is that variation of the ending based on not helping the boy before, but... Like, I'm curious. Like, sorry, I just wanna... I wanna replay that just one more time, like, change the variation up. Not to mention...
It was
it'd be nice to re-look at that scene again with him deciding to help the boy, actually.
this.
Oh gosh. I really wish there was a skip button. Like, that would actually make things a little bit easier. Is there a skip button up here? No, that's just decorative. Hurry to work. I might stream like next week, or I might stream like sometime later this week. But if I do stream next week, this time I want to help. I want to see what happens.
Even though Yu had been scared of dogs since childhood, he was going to run to the kid's aid. But the latter stumbled and fell down on the pavement, and the dogs lost all interest in him.
Right, so like before, the kid fell over and the dogs lost interest, right?
Yu had nothing to do with the outcome of events, but he was filled with pride for his desire to help the boy that he did not even know. It made him come up to the kid, who was sitting on the ground with a bloody knee and a toothless smile. Not because of the fall, but due to his age.
Kids.
Yu was about to give the kid a handkerchief with his initials on it when he noticed it had fresh traces of his own blood. So he just asked,
"Can I do something for you?"
So before, like I said, when he went to go to Dorina, like, his nose was bleeding at that point, so he must use his handkerchief more often than not, but...
Thank you, sir. I am okay. They did not mean to hurt me.
Right.
At that moment, Yu saw his boss in the distance and hurried to work, shouting a quick, "Be careful," over his shoulder. On the way to the office, the thought about how strange it felt to be addressed as Sir bounced around in his head. Although he had passed a 30-year-old milestone, he felt closer to the kid with a bloody knee than to sirs of any kind, even the least important of them.
Like I said, he's more reflecting inward about the boy.
He went up 3 flights of stairs and found himself on the top floor. It was the office of the insurance company where he worked.
I don't think they explained that one before.
The door was unlocked. Was he late? He tried to walk in, but was stopped by a stranger. Wait! Where are you going? Before you could give a proper response to the cad, his boss came up the stairs, struggling to catch his breath, and did it himself.
"Let him in."
They both entered the office, and the boss walked Yu to his desk, where he explained the situation to him in private.
That is Frank, my distant relative. He needs to do an internship, so he is going to work here for a while.
Right.
As who? As a security guard.
To avoid any further questions, the boss turned around and went to his office.
So like I said, what's truth and what's fiction?
An internship as a security guard in an insurance company, fitting in 2 rooms. Ridiculous. If I was blessed with a writing talent, I would definitely immortalize this. You thought.
Yeah.
You got down to some clerical work.
So, huh.
You found a moment and took the morning
Out of his pocket. It was from Darina.
You-
From Novasgod.
Is she? Suddenly,
So,
you did. Dear you.
he felt dizzy. And like I said, even though I helped the boy, let's go to the cafe. Because I don't think there's anything else left to do with the chapter other than literally start by going to the cafe.
You hurried to the cafe.
Right.
It is uncertain whether he actually wanted to find her there or hoped for the opposite.
Actually, in the second, previously, the boy re-handed him the handkerchief back, but will the boy be there inside?
One way or another, when he was in the appointed place, Darina was not there. All emotions left you in an instant.
Aww.
He saw the kid on the porch of the cafe veranda. The kid was looking at him, squinting in an odd way.
Why are you squinting?
Oh. You?
I am not. I mean, I closed my eye on purpose. Go ahead. Close one eye.
Hi.
You covered his right eye with his hand to humor the kid.
Feels strange. Do not open. I did it to remember about the mercy that life bestows on us.
What?
You get used to having just one eye, and then it turns out you have another.
Oh. Okay, that's a heavy-handed metaphor. It's like, oh, so you don't realize what you lost until you lost it. Like, screw you, game.
Or here's another thing.
Okay.
Hold your breath.
What? Okay, so I've been streaming for about an hour, so that should be. So there isn't actually but so much left to do. I mean, Do I continue or do I just stop here? I There's a part of me that wants to continue. There's a part of me that wouldn't mind trying for next time, but then you know what, screw it. Let's keep going. I want to know what I've done. Basically everything in chapter 1 except start by going to the cafe. So
I suppose.
let's just do that.
What? This.
Screw it.
It was.
Let's see. So what else do I need to do?
He was.
For chapter 1, I think it's just this. Otherwise,
This.
I've done the everything that branched off. So in actuality, everything that I will play at this point will be just brand new. That's cool. Awesome. Now let's read the letter. Okay.
Glancing at the address line, a chill went through Yu's body for a split second. From Darina. was confused by the seal on the envelope, indicating the place of departure, Noleafgrad.
Novigrad Kanat. The main character's name is you. Jeez.
Is she really coming back to Cannot?
You wondered?
Okay, so we know what she
He felt
felt dizzy. Oh, that's okay. So there's a different variation. I did not expect that. Uh, let's just straight go to work then. Like, will that change how I'm act at work then, or will that? Okay, here I thought there was only one thing left to do, but there might be two different things left to do. So wait, because we sat down and read the letter first, does that mean the boy would already have tripped, and there's no need to... let's go to work first.
The trip to work took him by a few blocks, but the road seemed endless that way. Though Yu suffered from excessive hypochondria, he really had an incurable disease.
Excessive Gosh.
He clearly remembered that day when he heard the diagnosis. Since that moment, he stopped counting new birthmarks on his body.
As most people should?
As soon as he reached the park, he saw a pack of street dogs rushing towards him.
Oh, okay.
Deja vu! Yu's heart dropped. Time stood still.
Oh, we actually have an entire different variation to go through. Let's run away. I'm just...
Yu tried to run away, but he barely took a couple of steps and stumbled, falling flat on the ground.
That was a fight or flight response, and I chose to flight. So, well, not really fight,
As soon
actually.
as he stretched out on the pavement, the dogs lost all interest in him. Everything that happened seemed to him insanely familiar, bringing back his childhood memories.
Aww.
Holding onto his neck and feeling old scars against his palm, Yu looked at his ragged suit.
Aww.
His head was buzzing from pain. Glancing at his watch, he wondered if it was appropriate to go to work looking like that.
Go home to change or go to work? Ah. Jeez, what's with these variations? Like, get yelled at, get yelled at. Like, I'm playing this a bit differently, so let's just go home.
Yu thought that he could not appear at work looking like that and decided to change his clothes. Feeling like a little child who had fallen in a puddle, he was going home. The darn soup had spilled.
Oh. Really now?
He ran into his boss on his way home.
The darn soup has spilled. In other words, he took a chance. He's like he mentioned that before he didn't like he never bought soup at school lunches because he was afraid of spilling it. But that was mostly for not want to take a chance, keep things simple. Now he did take a chance here, so oh,
His message was short. You are fired.
Oh. What?
He was too weak to protest. You could not get rid of the thought. Why would the boss do it?
What?
The shelves were piled with documents waiting to be dealt with, and it would be hard to find a replacement. Everything seemed like a bad dream. His head was ringing from pain.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit speechless. Okay. What? Like, Like, um, so, okay, so what happened there? So, he read the letter, he basically got distracted, he got scared of dogs, and he took a chance. Okay.
I suppose
Suppose I'll start from the very beginning. Oh gosh. Again, I would love a skip button. Like,
it was
I really do like this game. I like the narrator. Like,
he was
actually, I'm very curious about the character view. Like, there are definitely some
this
qualities about him that I can relate with, and
it rem- his
like, it doesn't seem like much, but I can. Let's see. Read. Okay, so we read the letter. It's from Darina, addressed from
you
Novosgrad. To cannot. Going abroad.
he
He
felt
felt dizzy. We decide to go to work. We get stopped by
lit
dog. Well, he's a bit more out of it because
he
of a letter.
since as deja vu
He
use
gets
time.
talked to the dogs, so the dogs go away because he decided to run away. But if he freezed in place, then
Wishing to regain control of the situation, you froze in place in an attempt to suppress fear. Taking it for insolence, the mongrels became even angrier.
Hmm.
Without slowing down, one of the dogs jumped
oh
and
gosh,
grabbed your throat. The barking slowly died down.
wait. Jumped and grabbed your throat, not you's throat? I am not sure if that's a spell check error, but
His father yielded a piercing shout.
oh, so the father actually saw what happened. So the father saw him basically run away from the dog and go home.
Silence.
Oh gosh. What is this song? Boom, 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 boom. I really do want to know this music.
I,
Okay, so
this
before
it was
other than literally going to the cafe, the only
he was
other variation need to go through is
this
run away from the dogs but
it,
still go to work.
his ha-
Like other than just straight go to the cafe, in other words. So, oh
you
gosh. So he gets
he
fired, dead end, bad end. He gets killed, go to work.
the though
He has
he
hypochondria. Excessive
since
hypochondria. Hmm.
as deja use hard time.
So we run away. We trip. The dogs basically wanted
As
a response out of him.
every his head
But now we try to. But instead of. We look like a mess. But then our father fires us. But now we go to work looking like a mess.
You barely caught into the office when two male silhouettes appeared behind him. He turned around and saw his boss and a man he had never seen before, a little farther away. The boss frowned and cast a reproachful glance at you. Figuring they would have to introduce each other, you quickly took off his ragged jacket, hung it on the back of his chair, and extended his hand to the stranger.
But his hand's all bloody.
Let me introduce myself. You.
My name is Frank. And you? To avoid unnecessary explanations,
Put it on.
despite the fact,
Get to wear name tags.
wow, that's a very unusual name.
Huh, so it's still playing again.
It is the only unusual.
My life.
An awkward pause hung in the air.
Frank is our security guard starting today.
So is there going to be a different explanation this time?
Ooh. We have nothing to. A security guard.
Some of my important documents are missing.
There are only two of us. What kind of documents? That I cannot tell you. You mean you suspect me?
No, I do not. Clean yourself up. What is wrong with your hands?
Oh, so they do comment on it.
Eliminating any opportunity to continue this conversation, the boss turned around and went into his office.
So did he actually see it?
The room plunged into silence. You got down to some clerical work. You was sitting at his sturdy desk, imagining again and again how the shelves, stocked with books on jurisprudence, would break loose due to their own weight from friable concrete and break his head.
Which is what. Okay, that's hinting at Frank that
Allowing
end.
himself a little break, you took his diary from his table drawer
And
and
made
made a note.
I never took a plate of soup at school lunches, even when I really wanted to.
Feeling some satisfaction from writing that, there was a rustle of the janitor's broom.
Okay, clockwork.
Chapter 2. On the
Okay, so I can pause it. So. So I want to basically go to the cafe. I don't think there's really anything else in chapter 2 I need to do.
despite his it was
Okay, let's get
He
through
was-
this. Huh, so basically that's a loop around for do you help the boy or you
having
I wonder what Dorina's like.
the
Like it doesn't really talk too much about it in the rest of the story, but so is she someone that's supposed to be meant a lot to him, or like he responds when he sees Max's
he
handkerchiefs.
felt
Go to the cafe. Alright.
although you suffered from excessive hypochondria, he really had an incurable illness.
Right.
He clearly remembered the day when he heard the diagnosis. Since that moment, he stopped counting new birthmarks on his body. He seemed shaken up after reading the letter, but not surprised.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't put too much stock in his own life then, right? That's a lot of what I'm drawing from about this character.
He tried to squeeze out a tear to see if he was still capable of showing emotions. Alas, he just welled up a little.
Man.
You decided that it was because he had drunk a large amount of coffee, which dehydrated his already dried up body.
Don't make excuses, man.
Approaching the seafront, he tried to spot Dorina. It did not take him long to find her. There she was, at the cafe table.
Oh.
She probably had no clue how much he appreciated her starting the conversation.
Oh.
Usually, you are late. I am tired. I hope you understand me.
Oh,
But
girl.
he did not. Having overcome his anxiety, he squeezed out a handful of words.
Oh. Okay. So I believe the canonical path would be to agree of parting because he feels inadequate. He doesn't feel. But at the same time, like I'm curious about what asking him to stay would result in. She's gonna deny it, and he's gonna get heartbroken about it. So I think this will lead to a bad end, but we'll see.
Do not go away. Let's try once more.
Oh.
Too late. I have put up with my life for the sake of old age. Now, there will be no old age.
That is an odd way to phrase that, but she wants to live her life.
There had always been a gap of misunderstanding between them.
Clearly.
He had embraced his illness long ago and resignedly yielded to his ailment with a loud,
Make yourself at home.
He's accepted his shortcomings.
it seemed that he had become closer to his illness than to
Oh.
Darina. He got distracted thinking about himself and missed her meaning.
Oh.
Reflections on how to rebuild his life from the very beginning prevailed over the others. He was not ready to renew his relationship with himself, so he mentally grasped at the crumbles of the past seeping through his crucified palms.
Oh.
I am sorry. I have made my decision. I do not know why I arranged this meeting.
She wanted to see him last time.
She paid for the bill and left. Yu froze in place, at first not daring to say anything, and then resigned himself to the role of a scapegoat thrown into the unknown.
Aw, man.
For some reason, he saw something noble in their breakup. Yu was sure that he went to work immediately after the meeting. But when he came to his senses, he realized that he was on an unfamiliar street, cloaked by dusk.
Oh, so.
Despite the fact that the street seemed to be deserted, he felt someone's heavy presence.
Hmm?
Turning to a rustle behind his back, Yu impaled his chest on a knife,
Oh.
squeezed in the hands of a long familiar figure.
What?
Greetings from the past.
Wait, what? What? Huh, what?
Whether from pain or surprise, Hugh could not utter a single word.
Oh. Oh, okay. This isn't actually a stranger. This is. Oh, you.
The murderer carefully took out the blade and laid your motionless body on the ground.
Oh, you.
Blood flowed through the cold mosaic of paved stones. The corners of Yu's mouth spread into a smile.
So this is basically his illness taking full throttle here. Oh, you. I really want to know where this music come from. Like, is it just like this game is free, so I'm wondering like if it's like. So, back to chapter 1, please.
Chapter 1.
Right.
Once
The view.
Despite his unusual name, his life was hardly any different from others. It was an unusually usual day when
Ready to go to work.
two he was
Okay, wow, so... Ah...
this
Dang it, you! Why'd you do that?
his, ha-
So, I guess in Chapter 1 the only thing left really
the
to do is... like, agree to the parting, but... will that continue the
gra-
story anyway, or that
you
cause another bad ending because he's late for work, or...
he
Ah... like, there's a couple different variations that
oh
I can see this go down, but I'm...
he cl-
Ah...
he s- he tried. Alas,
he woke up a bit. He tried to oh, dang it. Hey, you!
she probably
I really do mean this. I really do
you
like this character. This is not me just
I am
pretending or anything. I really do actually
but
care about the character.
having overcome his
Oh. I actually really don't want... Oh.
he seemed to be ready for such an outcome and did not hold a grudge against her.
Oh.
Nodding goodbye to her, you hurried to work.
Dude.
He was almost there when he saw his boss enter the office building. He took it as his personal failure, although his watch showed that he still had several minutes.
Okay, so in other words, this will still play out like we did with the boy, right?
You had barely got into the office when he,
There's two silhouettes,
to avoid,
pin the badge on.
yes. Wow!
That's a very unusual name.
It is.
The only usual detail in life.
An awkward pause hung in the air. The boss standing behind Frank frowned and cast a reproachful glance at you. Frank is our security guard starting today.
Okay.
Oh, we have nothing.
A security guard. Some of my important documents are missing.
There are only two of us. What kind of documents?
That I cannot tell you.
You mean you suspect me?
No, I do not.
Hmm.
Eliminating any opportunity to
Right,
continue
so...
the conversation, the boss turned around. The room plunged into silence. You got down to some clerical work. You was sitting at his sturdy desk,
Fraction concrete in the break.
allowing himself a
Make a note in his diary.
I never took a plate of.
feeling some satisfaction from writing that. There was a rust. Chapter 2.
Okay, so... I believe in Chapter 2, where was it?
On the second.
Spit coffee... like, I don't think
Let's
there's
continue.
actually that much, variation left. Like, I did everything in Chapter 1 now, so... this will lead to a bad end. This will...
Give it
Hmm...
here. In a moment.
So...
I am.
Hmm... I think I did everything for,
Can I have?
for...
What?
I don't think it really matters here. Like, you get to know more about you here, but... enter Keep Silent last time. I just want to hear this response again.
Perhaps the lack of communication affected you. Unexpectedly for himself, he answered the question directly.
I'm not sure, but it seems to me that the desire to kill a self-protagonist in the text takes root in the desire to alienate the described situations from a real self.
Mhm.
You said it as if he had prepared an answer to this question a long time ago. Or, at least he had thought about it before. Silence set in. Frank was embarrassed by his answer and tried to look understanding.
Hmm.
Well, more likely that it is just easier to kill.
Oh, you. Stop it.
The office phone rang.
Okay, so this will once again repeat. Ignore the call this time around.
The ringing bored
Born
into
to a
his
skull.
you.
Darting dark spots.
He
So,
go to. He didn't. Although
so, huh.
you like. I'm
Was there any sort of variation with
I
Max
just
though? Like,
As
I think I
if
did everything with Max though.
Max. Do you?
This is the sympathetic option. This is just because I haven't really. I want to refresh myself. Let's go with no thank you, just so I can refresh myself again.
no, thank you.
You quickly said goodbye and left. He heard some painful coughing behind his back, and his lips let out a grin of satisfaction.
Hmm.
Coming home, you could barely stand on his feet.
Right.
Notwithstanding his lack of sleep and fatigue, he could not fall asleep. The day flashed in his head on repeat. As for the breakup, he did not.
Okay, so
On the
Why did she?
he did not. Dizziness. At some point, he even thought about
the dog's
sleep.
technically still alive.
Chapter 3.
Okay, so I think there's only like one or two variations on chapter 3 left, and then I'm
The
done with the
alarm
game.
went off.
So
You faced a new day with weakness in his. All night long, he had been haunted by a painfully familiar nightmare. His body,
so
despite the early hour. How are you?
I wonder if that'll make a
You
difference.
heard the question.
So
How
before he went to go to work,
I'm
Saul
a cut
basically
in. You look.
I
saw a copy of himself, and when we followed it, it looped back down to a dream, but it didn't re-loop
You didn't-
again. In other words. So I wonder if that'll actually change for this selection here. Like if I choose rest, but then go back and go to work, saw the copy, proceed through that, and then choose rest here again, if there will be two different outcomes there. So let's go with the rest first. Let's see what happens.
okay. I will try.
You went to his room and sat down at his desk. He took a pen and then remembered that he left his diary at work.
Oh.
You took some letters out of the drawer, which had not been sent for some reason. He took one of the letters and added a few lines to it.
Remember when grandfather made me listen to a rhythmic beat in the air? It is the heartbeat of a gigantic whale who swallowed our universe. And I believed him. What about you? You said it was just train wheels wobbling. So I decided that the whale had died a long time ago, which was better than it being just a fantasy. Do you understand? Asking you this is easy on paper because you will not answer me.
So, is this one of those he's writing letters to himself to self-reflect on himself, to look inward? I mean, whenever they use the word you here, it's kind of like asking me, in other words, this is easy on paper because at least I will not answer. But, huh.
Adding those lines, he felt he had completed something important and allowed himself to take a nap. Once he dozed off, he heard a knock on the door.
Okay, this is all new for me.
Any unexpected knock on the door or telephone call could evoke severe paranoia in you.
Oh.
Because the knock on your door is louder and more alarming than on any other door. In a moment, there was rustling of envelopes slipping into the mail slot of the front door.
Okay. Oh. I didn't expect another choice here. Let's go to the front door for now.
Once he got up, his sleepiness was gone.
Hmm.
Sorting out a stack of utility bills, you found a letter addressed to him.
Hmm.
It was a letter from the sanatorium where he had undergone treatment that summer.
Oh.
Dear Mr. Yu, I am afraid I have to inform you that you were misdiagnosed due to a serious mistake on my part.
Wait, what?
Your disease has a closed form, and the possibility of airborne or droplet transmission is excluded. To put your heart at ease, you can follow the precautions recommended to you earlier. However, I assure you that your disease is only focused on you. Accept my sincerest apologies. Your attending physician, K.
Wait, what? Your disease has a closed form and the possibility of airborne or is exclusive. Oh. Oh, what? So, was there a part of him that was wondering if he passed his disease on to Darina? Huh.
It would mean little to a healthy person. But to you, the news turned everything upside down. The disease got quiet.
So, in other words, a lot of it was mostly just in his head, in other words, right?
That time it did not try to get out. Having used you as a disposable case, it was snugly snoozing.
Oh gosh.
You took a shower, washing away the fuss of the last days, and decided to go to work. You did not tell anyone about this, but I am going to tell you confidentially.
Okay.
He believed that the disease manifested itself most fiercely when he went to bed.
Okay, so...
That was why you did. His night fantasies became crazy
But,
in
we...
order to control. You liked to alter it. He would walk through the park or that patio. All that in order to.
Mushroom days.
He remembered that it was the last working day before the holiday when he came up to the office door.
Okay, so we proceeded to go through here anyway, right?
Entering the office, you noticed that Frank was not. He found a new batch of documents on his table. Pinning his name tag on his jacket, you got to work.
So in this variation, use a bit more upbeat here.
The work did not take as much time on the last working day. He easily sorted out. Having gone through most of the papers, he came across
Oh, right.
date of insurance. The client.
So, will this change anything here?
You confirmed the insurance payout to his metaphysical colleague. What guided him when making such a decision? Did it evoke his sense of justice, compassion, selfishness, or maybe shame?
Oh, okay, so that's referring to you, not the person. So, envy for the person who committed suicide, but... Huh.
I am sorry. No, you do not have to answer. You completed his work earlier than planned. Satisfied, he carefully unfastened his name tag and put it in front of himself. A confusing question went through his head. What's next?
Okay, so...
It was Yu's first holiday, and it seemed he did not even plan what to do during the long-awaited vacation. He took his time to clean up his desk and went to his boss's office. He formally knocked a couple times on the door and appeared before his father.
So I'm gonna keep going. I haven't chosen can I go at all in both variations. I just am curious.
Is there anything else I can do? If you have processed the last...
They've filled the statements.
I already...
Already have.
Wait,
I dismiss you.
I will work some more.
Hmm.
As you wish. Take it easy on the coffee.
You took a folder with the statements and turned to leave. Fearing he might appear too soft, the father added,
I do not need a stroke here.
Hmm.
a satisfied smile flashed through Yu's face.
I know, Father.
Okay, so it's the same sort of ending. So this time around I just... Do I go with satisfying can I go? And then can I go accept, can I go? Ah, gosh. So this was again the first ending I got already, so... Okay, so...
Chapter
Ah...
The alarm.
How do I do this?
You face
How do I do this? Do I attempt to loop back around and see if there's anything different? Or...
How are you feeling?
How you feeling? I feel like crap.
How diff...
Let me double check with the doppelganger
I'm
plot
s-
line. Like, I know it looped back around, but I just want to know if there was another
look-
option I missed or something.
I...
Let's see.
You...
We're gonna first go to work here.
you he be- that was his in you like
Right.
he would walk all he remembered
Wait, what?
entering the office. You noticed that Frank
Wait,
was
what
not
happened
there.
to the doppelganger?
He found a new bag.
What's going on?
The work
Was
he
that like a
easily
one-time
sorted out
thing?
Insurance files.
Oh
He had gone
gosh.
through insurance date of insurance. The client. You refused the insurance payout.
Was that a
What
one-time
guided
thing? What happened?
Did he evoke his sense of his desktop got it? Yet he was dissatisfied. He felt that he had missed something.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to do with himself, he went to his boss's office. He politely knocked a couple times on the door and appeared before his
Well, I just want to do this really quickly.
Is there... If you have processed...
Statements,
Yes,
yes, I have.
Wait. As... I will...
Oh, some more.
Look at you. You could use some help yourself. Maybe this will help.
Okay, so... Wait, what? Is the doppelganger only when you go through the entire story then? Or... I am so confused. Huh.
Chapter 3.
Right.
The alarm went.
So...
You face
Painful filler nightmare.
despite
How are you...
So...
How diff...
Let's go back to work. Go with
I'm...
suicide and can I leave?
You look... I...
Then we'll loop this back around one more time and see about anything else. I'm gonna go to work.
you did not tell anyone.
So you confidentially.
He believed
Manifest when you go to bed.
that was
Sleep.
his night fantasy. In you like to
Oh,
you
so
would walk through the park
yes, it's not there.
all
Ah,
enter pinning
Okay, so
Ins-
hmm.
date event. Insurance sum. The
So we're going to decline it this time around.
what
Decision.
did he? His test.
Maybe
Yet
you.
he felt not. He polite.
Alright, now we're gonna hit Can I Go?
Can I go? I have processed all the papers.
Taking the question as insolence,
Ooh.
his father glanced first at the calendar, then at the clock.
You are dismissed.
Oh, okay.
Not quite realizing what to do next, you pause to think.
You can go.
Hmm.
Picking up his things, you left the office. Was he really on holiday? As soon as he stepped over the threshold, he felt unwell.
What?
His chest rattled like a moving train.
What is this music? Okay, so I think there's only one last variation I need to do, but oh, two or three
Chapter
variations I actually need to do.
The alarm went off.
The alarm went off.
All
Painful nightmare, which, oh gosh, I actually really
How
want to
are
go
you
through that nightmare again. Jeez, I mean that sounds like a sick thing to say, but I
How
really
did
did. Ah,
I'm.
a cup.
You look.
but crap. I feel like crap. So we'll actually hit rest this time.
Okay. I will try.
You went to his room and sat down at his desk.
Okay.
He took a pen. He took.
Remember when grandfather made me listen
Into
to
a rhythmic beat in the air.
It is
Sounds
the
like a
heartbeat of a gigantic whale who swallowed our universe. And I believed him. What about you? You said it was just train wheels wobbling. So I decided that the whale had died a long time ago, which was better than it being just a fantasy. Do you understand?
Hmm.
Asking you this is easy on paper because you will not answer me.
Hmm. A little curious about the wheel, actually.
adding those lines. Once he,
So,
because the, in a moment,
so when I looked at the letters, I got the confidence to go back to work. So this time, I want to just try to continue sleeping. I know he won't really feel like sleeping, but
it seemed to him that he had been tossing about in his bed, trying to fall asleep for several hours. He stayed awake, so he decided to glance through the delivered letters.
oh, I'll do it anyway.
He had already learned to enjoy his rubbery legs and dizziness. Looking through the stack of utility bills, it was a letter from the south. His legs gave way under him, not because of weakness, but because of a sudden boost of energy. His heart pounded with the strength of a whale, but with the speed of a shrew. He lay down on the bed, unable to withstand a rush of emotions. With an unusual smile on his face, he was staring at the ceiling. After a few minutes, he asked with horror,
A new chandelier?
What? Wait, is that supposed to be a new he's looking up at the ceiling and sees a new possibility for himself? Alright, there's one last variation I want to go through.
Chapter
And
The
then I
alarm
think
went.
I'm done.
You face this. How are you? You
Hmm.
how difficult?
I actually do wonder if I do skip through the entire
I'm
first part
a cup.
of the game, I will actually get
You
back to that cutscene.
I feel
Huh. It was just weird that it only... That it's...
you did.
So let's actually go through the process of resting.
Okay. You. He took a pen. You. He. Once he.
Okay. Hey, we're almost done. But we're almost been streaming for
Because the
like
knock
2 hours. Jeez.
in a.
Oh, we'll be done here in a sec. Go to the front door.
Once he got sorting. It was a
Even...
dim. It would. But to you, the disease got that time. You. You did not tell.
Confidentially?
He believed
That's weird that
that
it's,
was his night vet. In you. He would walk the.
Yeah.
Enter. He found. Penny.
Fingers down on the table.
Having. Insurance.
So we're going to...
Native insurance.
Right.
The
We're going to accept
you
this colleague.
did it evoke his sense of justice, compassion, selfishness, or maybe shame? I am sorry. No, no. You do not have to answer. You completed his work earlier than planned. Satisfied? A confusing question. It was Yu's first holiday, and it seemed he took his.
Lost all this.
He formally. Can I go now? I have processed all the documents.
Huh.
The father glanced first at the calendar, then at the clock. It took him a while to realize why his son was asking him that. Yes, you are dismissed.
Okay, so this is a different variation 4.
There was an awkward pause between the family members. To break the silence, you mumbled,
If there is nothing else I can do,
"You can go."
okay.
You picked up his things, unable to shake off the feeling that he was awkwardly saying goodbye to his workplace. Leaving the office, you noticed a suspiciously familiar face of a person coming out of the opposite building.
Wait, what?
He was Yu's identical double.
Wait, what happened? What? Um... Why did... Uh... Why did it just end? Uh... um... Okay. So... yeah, okay, yeah. So I guess the game is meant to crash there. Oh... Okay. Oh, well, what would that mean? The identical double is his way of looking back on his life, and when he first saw the identical double, it was... Why is it running? Okay, it's running. It was for It was him looking at a life he could have had. But
It may seem that the story of you is chaotic. However, in reality, it is not. The more stories you pass through, the more likely you will be to piece it into one whole picture. Use every possible opportunity. The truth is somewhere close.
so, what can I say about you? You is, in one way, a person with a lot of. So he's had this disease for a long time. He's come to kind of accept it, but he always feared he always be burden to others. He always feared the disease might cause burden to others. He's always kept his distance, but he's tried, and although it's failed, he's definitely picked himself back up once or twice. But
Chapter The Alarm. You faced a
so
new
there's
day.
one last thing. I want to see if
All night
because
long, he had been
I finally saw the doppelganger again, will
This. How are you feeling?
will that part come back up again? Like,
How did?
I'm curious.
I'm.
a cut.
But him seeing
You
the
look.
that scene again,
I-
like sort of a new accomplishment in life and some new. That's definitely like a. I'm definitely gonna have to think about that. Like, well, just try to work.
You. He.
Hmm.
That was
But okay, so
his.
I think, like I said, other than just me checking this one last thing, that's
He was.
everything in this sort of
That's
I guess not really a let's
flip.
play, but this sort of playthrough of My Name Is You. Oh wait, there's the spy. What? Oh, so it now showed back up. So let
You.
I want to ignore this for
You
now.
would.
Like, let's see if that'll actually change the ending,
Enter.
or if it'll loop back around. Okay, so once you trigger it, it doesn't show back up again until you get that ending. That's crazy.
Easily say without issue. Having gone.
Ah.
Did it. In.
Oh man. So we're going to accept.
Put.
Ah.
Did it. I am. You. Sat. It was Yu's first holiday, and it's. He formally.
So we're still gonna say, can I go?
Can I go now?
The father.
Ask him.
Yes. You are dismissed.
Oh.
There was a. To break.
You can go.
Hmm.
Okay.
You picked up his things, unable to shake off the feeling that he was awkwardly saying goodbye to his workplace.
Right.
Leaving the office, you noticed a suspiciously familiar face of a person coming out of the opposite building. He was Yu's identical double.
A sensation of deja vu continued.
Okay, so my game did just randomly crash.
It lasted until his double noticed him, wiping a smile off his face.
I didn't get a Steam thing, so. Hmm. Is it weird that I want to. Okay, so I think I really am done. I just want to check one. I keep saying
The
this. I
alarm.
want to just check one last thing. So
You fa-
I think the proper story variation
his.
is.
Despite. How are you feeling? How
is to
I'm
first go to
a
work,
copy.
see the double,
You look
follow the
like
double, loop back around, and then
you.
so we first go to work.
You did not tell.
And I'm confident to
He
tell
was.
you.
That was why his night vanished.
Hmm.
He walked out of the door
Right.
and noticed a stranger near the opposite house. That stranger was an identical copy of you, as if his long-lost twin. You froze and watched him.
Hmm.
The door
Sorry.
was half open, and he saw a pretty girl,
So the kid
the newly.
spying the double.
You decided to follow the imposter. He was filled with excitement and almost childish curiosity. Yu's assiduous attempts not to give himself away were unwarranted.
Hmm.
His double had no intention of turning around.
Oh gosh.
The pavement, the slums, the sound of the heartbeat of a whale. A straight path led them to the railway station. Suddenly, the second you turned back in the direction of the original, but the latter went unnoticed.
Didn't notice him.
The station was a. The double,
Bought a ticket.
you, without much I would like the same ticket, the same time. A heavy, apathetic cashier automatically held out the requested ticket without batting an eye. The ticket said. The double sat. He was so excited. The train rattled. You came close to him. Yes, he had decided to start a conversation. He was going to do it in the car, so that the double could not escape.
Oh gosh.
Before you realized what was happening, the double threw himself under the moving train. You choked from horror. His feet seemed glued to the platform. Everything around him froze. In a moment, hysterical screams of eyewitnesses pierced the frozen air. How come he had not noticed them before? Somebody was killed. He pushed him. Get him! Train rattle squeezed out the last drops of sanity. Blurred silhouettes, impregnated with human justice, surrounded you.
Oh.
Is this the end? The alarm went off. You faced a new. All
So
his body.
we go back to the
Despite.
kitchen.
How are you?
Okay, I'm definitely gonna hurry here a sec.
How you? I'm sorry. A cup in use. You look.
Okay, so leave for work.
You didn't.
I'll go to office. Going to rest.
Okay.
On his desk.
He took a pen.
Pen, paper. His diary's at work.
You-
Okay.
He t-
Like I said, I don't think there's anything else, and I think I've gotten all the achievements. I'll check later, but
Once-
so
Because-
this was My Name
And
Is You. Again, I really enjoyed it. Like I'm not
Once. Sorting.
don't play as many games
was
as I
a-
used to, so I'm not sure if other people might like this. But hey, if you wanna go through the story on your own pace, check it out on Steam.
That time-
That was very awkwardly worded. Let me try
You
that
did
again. This game is
He-
is free to play on
That was-
Steam. It's basically
His night. In
a visual choice. Yeah,
he would.
choose your own version of a visual novel. But
And
like I said, I enjoy you. I'm definitely gonna have to think about a lot of things. A lot of things I can't really
He
come to a
ins-
main conclusion
it
or the topic. I can't really
ins-
fully grasp some things here. I'm gonna have to like rethink a few things, but
you could. What did it evoke? I am. You satisfied.
like I think this variation I'm going through right now is the correct variation.
It.
I also want to know why it crashed. Like,
He
is it
took his.
supposed to crash? Like, it was
He formed
very crazy. Can I go?
the. Yes, you are dis. There was to break the. You can go. Okay. You picked up his things, unable to shake off the feeling that he was awkwardly saying goodbye to his workplace. Leaving the office, you noticed a suspiciously familiar face of a person coming out of the opposite building. He was Yu's identical double. A sensation of deja vu
Okay,
continued.
so my game really did just crash. I don't know why.
It lasted until his double noticed him, wiping a smile off his face.
Okay, so like I said, I think I got all the endings. I probably have to double check, but like I said, I really did enjoy this game. Oh. I put a suggestion box down below if anyone finds this on Twitch. I might upload this to YouTube, to my YouTube channel, which is kind of like me uploading anything I want to. But if anyone has any suggestions for any sort of low-end free-to-play games on Steam for me to try out, I would happily try it. There was one game, I'm not really remembering what the name of it was, but it was another recently game that came to Steam that I want to try playing. Like, again, the computer I play on, it doesn't, I can't play too many games that are like high spec. Like, I try to play Malediction or something like that. I try to play that, but it required too much for my computer to handle. So literally anything with like that requires low specs, I can probably play on this computer. But like I said, I'm going to try streaming at least once a week, probably 10 o'clock at night. The reason I'm doing it 10 o'clock at night is because from like 6 to 9:30, I watch some friends stream D&D. So literally, I'm just playing right afterwards. But any case, if anyone does find this or anyone does look at this, thank you for sticking through this, and well, I hope, yeah, hope you have a wonderful night, wonderful day whenever you watch this, and goodbye. I'm definitely gonna have to figure out how to make this transition a bit more easier, but